Welcome into episode 2 of Interviewing the Magic, a show where we sit down with current or former Disney World cast members to talk about the magic they helped create at the Walt Disney World Resort. I'm your host, Brian Perry. You know, from 2005 to 2020, if you stayed on Walt Disney World property, chances are you may have taken a spin on Space Mountain or stood on Main Street for the electrical parade. Then again, maybe you just stayed in your hotel room, sat on the bed, turned on the TV, and tuned into a promotional video that became so popular that now in 2021, we've got merchandise being made spotlighting its iconic host. It's time to interview the magic with Must Do Disney's Stacey.
I'm your host, Stacey. This is Must Do Disney. Let's go. Thank you. Nice to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Now, look, obviously we're going to talk about Disney, Must Do Disney being the face of so many of our Disney vacations, but I read that you are a five-time national champion in artistic roller skating. So my immediate thought is, where does that rank on your list of accomplishments? Does that go, does it push Juilliard to the side? Does it push Disney to the side? Does roller skating go to the top?
Well, it is definitely high on the top of, I'm sorry, what? Quirky things? It's artistic roller skating, which is kind of like it's kind of like ice skating. There's no knocking people down. It's not roller derby. But yeah, I was a 5-time national champion. And funny, I've done some hosting on my roller skates. I spent 2 seasons as the WNBA live host at Staples Center for the Los Angeles Sparks women's basketball team. And I started doing it. And then I said to the owners one day, is there any, because I would be like on the game floor and then I'd have to be up in the stands doing some giveaway or whatever. So I was like, man, I'm only 5'2" and I can run fast, but wouldn't it be great if I could be on my skates? So they said, okay. It was fantastic. Jack Black would call me Roller Girl. It was hilarious.
Awesome. All right, so let's do the must do now. We obviously have to talk about Must Do Disney and top 7 Disney must-sees, which is how you started, right? That was 2005?
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about how that came about, because you mentioned before we were recording that, you went to Juilliard right down the block here in New York, and you were a dance major. So how does the on-camera persona develop? How do you end up working for Disney?
Right. Yeah, I was dancer, choreographer, dance teacher. I was teaching at the Performing Arts School in Louisville, Kentucky, which is kind of there's 30 performing arts schools in the country. It's based off of LaGuardia. Hey. But right. Go Fame.
Yeah, go Fame.
Yes. So I was teaching, but then I moved to North Carolina and I started doing more on camera, like traditional TV and film and series and stuff like that, and commercials and theater. And I got this opportunity to audition for Disney. And I had never done straight to camera hosting or hosting in any form. And I was like, why not? I like to say yes to stuff. So I gave it a shot and it went my way. And so it was not something I necessarily set out to do, like I'm going to be a host, but the fit it just all kind of clicked. And so it was supposed to be for 1 year. And so on 5/5 of 2005, the top 7 must-sees premiered. And then, like with everything I do, it's like the dance world is very challenging. It's like, you're never good enough. Your leg is never high enough. Your feet are never it's like, you're always less than, and you're like striving for this level of perfection that you're never going to reach, but you do it anyway. And so on camera, people were like, it's so hard. And I'm thinking, I spent my whole life with that judgment and criticism. This is like actually very easy in comparison. So I just was like, this is going to be a great year. And I didn't know what to expect. And I just thought it'd be a year. And then it was like, they kept going, how about another year? How about another 2 years? And it went on for 15. And so, onward we go. But it's cool because it's like this slice of my life, this chapter of Disney history that will always be there, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, a huge part of Disney history. You know, you were the face, like I said, of so many Disney vacations for all of us. So that's definitely something to be proud of. Now, in terms of how it worked, you know, I always wondered about this. Did you go shoot the majority of it, and then Disney will give you a call and say, "Hey, we need you to come, you know, do something new," and you'd fly down just like that?
Yeah, whenever anything changed dramatically, whether there was new attractions or new tickets or anything like that was really clutch, I would go back to film it. So in the first handful of years, I was back a couple times a year, and then there'd be, you know, a chunk of time, and then if it was just something that I could do with voiceover, we would do it remotely, and I wouldn't fly to Florida to do that. So it really depended. There wasn't like a specific structure, like every quarter or, you know, it was just whenever they needed it, they'd give me a little notice, and then I would learn what I needed to learn to say. And then I would go and do it. So it was just kind of like fluid. There wasn't a specific schedule.
Were you in LA the entire time, or where were you traveling from?
Initially, I was in North Carolina,
Ah,
and
right.
then you know, for the first like 2 years, and then I was in LA.
Before we get to the highly anticipated Diz or Dat segment, I have to ask you about the Lost Bros and the merchandise that they created with your face on it. They're known to make theme park apparel and stuff like that, and here you are on T-shirts, on umbrellas. What's the story with the Lost Bros?
Well, you know what? The Lost Bros are, you know, Cody and Lex, their team are just spectacular human beings. And, you know, over the years, people have approached me about doing different things, and it just never felt right. And it also, like, as much as I'm so grateful for the opportunity, it's like, it wasn't about me. Like, I was the guide. I was like the conduit to get people to try things maybe they wouldn't try, or, you know, just to, like, I was that extra part of your family that you didn't have to invite to Christmas. Um, but I just felt like it wasn't really right. And also just the opportunities just didn't feel right. So when these guys approached me earlier in the year, I was like, huh, this is interesting. And so my team, we all kind of powwowed about it, and we were like, we love what they do, and what they do is, you know, as people, as a brand. And it just felt right. So for the last chunk of months, like, we've been going and talking about and design, and like, they've obviously had people approaching them, which I didn't know about. I mean, I didn't walk around going, you know, people probably want me on their chest. They want me as an umbrella. I didn't really walk around thinking that, as maybe some people do. I didn't. So it was just like everything just aligned. And so we talked about design and what we kind of wanted to go for and what people liked. And because a lot of people asked for my autograph, we thought it'd be fun to have my signature on their adorable bucket hats and the shirts and the
Yeah, they did
umbrella.
a great job. I mean, the merchandise looks great. I didn't expect to see the bucket hats, so that was kind of
Yeah,
cool.
well, I love staying out of the sun. So I love umbrellas, not just for rain, but I love, because whenever I was filming at Disney, they'd always have me under an umbrella.
Makes sense.
Partially because of the heat, but also because I needed to look consistent and not have any kind of changes in my skin tone.
You were starting 2009, Must Do Disney, right? That was your first time filming it. That ran through what? What was the last thing you did? 2016.
Well, I didn't do Pandora.
Oh,
It was pre-Pandora. So it had been a minute. I had done mostly voiceover stuff.
gotcha. Okay, so when you were appearing on camera, though, was the range like 2009 all the way to 16, or like were there
Mhm.
segments that were kind of pieced together from different years?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean,
How
there's
did how
stuff.
did that work?
Yeah, there was stuff that was from, yeah, there's stuff that's all mixed in, and then obviously wardrobe change. But yeah, it's all compiled. So it's always funny to be like, oh, do I still look like, oh, okay. It's the magic
Right,
moisturizer.
right, right. It's the Disney bubble. You know, once you're in there, you don't
Exactly.
age at all. So.
Look at you. You're like 107.
Yeah.
You look like you're 4.
Yeah, I wish. I wish. All right, it is time for Diz or a Dat. Stacey, I'm going to give you two options. You have to pick
Okay.
between the two, and feel free to elaborate, but
All
you
right.
do only have 3 seconds to make a decision. That's because when we did this with Mark Daniel, he took about an hour and a half with some of the questions I gave him.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna warn you, and people know this about me, that I'm very bad at picking favorites but I'm gonna do my best, Brian. I'm gonna do my best, okay?
I
For
believe
you,
in
and
you.
I'm gonna
I
be
believe in
quick.
you.
I'm gonna get in, I'm gonna get out.
All right, first question, Hollywood Studios or EPCOT?
Hollywood Studios.
I had EPCOT, so we are off to a terrible start, but that's all right. Why Hollywood Studios?
Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith. It's my mothership. Roller coasters, rock music. Hello.
All right, next question. This one's a tough one. Must do Disney or top 7 Disney must-sees?
Oh, that's just mean. You are a wicked, wicked man. Where is my phone? I'm going to tweet that. Okay, well, I'm going to say top 7 must-sees because it was my first hosting gig, my first time at Walt Disney World. It was many, many firsts, but
Yeah,
must do Disney, I love you too. So that's just mean. You're a mean man.
Well, without must-sees, obviously must do Disney doesn't necessarily come about.
Exactly. Thank you. Okay, good.
All right, next one is a personal one. New York or LA?
Oh, New York.
Oh, good. All right, I was nervous. You know, you're in LA. I wasn't sure you were going to pick the right answer.
New York, all day, every day. Yes.
Specifically the Upper West Side.
Yes.
Disney World or Disneyland?
Disney World.
That was a softball. All right, this is the final one. This is the big one. Would you rather ride Mission Space 7 times in a row, orange version, or work out to It's a Small World on repeat for 3 hours straight?
I knew you were gonna say that. Poor Small World. Well, I do love working out, but I'm gonna go Mission Space. Do I get to be like the commander every time, or do I have to move?
That's a great question. No, you get to be the pilot sometimes.
That's fine.
Engineer.
That's fine.
Yeah, no, you get to move around the cabin.
I'm gonna go Mission Space because if you ride Mission Space properly, it is a workout.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, no, who knows what's going on the inside of your body during Mission Space? You know, we're doing a top 50 countdown of the greatest rides in Walt Disney World history. I think I'm going to get some slack for this, but I have Mission Space pretty high up. I think it's very, very underrated.
Yeah, I think Mission Space is one of those things that you get out of it what you put into it.
Exactly.
You know? Just like working out. You know, some people think like Pilates or yoga is not a good workout. Oh, it's a great workout, but you have to approach it. You know, so I think if you go to Mission Space thinking it's going to be Expedition Everest, you may be disappointed. But if you go in, because it's more of like a strategic, cerebral, thrilling thing. So
there's something cool about it though, right? I mean, it's unique. There's no other ride like it. It's underappreciated.
Yes. It's like oatmeal or Fruit Loops. I mean, they both bring something to the table, but if you eat a Fruit Loop thinking you're getting a fiber-filled, you're going to be very disappointed. It's all.
You do get something out of it, though.
You're getting elevated blood sugar.
Right. Though working out with It's a Small World would be, you know, it could actually kind of motivate you to get the workout over with. You know, you just push harder.
I do like doing It's a Small World in different character voices. That does make it more fun. Try that next time. Sing It's a Small World with different accent or different character voice.
I think that would be fun for like 6 minutes of the 3 hours. But you know, that's 6 minutes though. Still counts for something, right?
You know what? Time is precious.
All right, Stacey, final thing I want to ask you is what is Stacey's must-do for young artists, whether it be VO artists or dancers or actors or on-camera hosts? What's your must-do for them to be successful in the entertainment industry?
That's a great question. I think that the core of anything is really trust your gut. Trust and believe, is this what you need to do, like breathing? You know, because I think if you have a level of sincere investment in yourself. I mean, because listen, every occupation, every career has challenges. The entertainment business, the different areas, the challenge with that is that just because you're talented doesn't mean you're going to be successful. Now, I would say that you also need to qualify for yourself, define for yourself what is success. Because is success being on the cover of a magazine? Is success just doing what you love and sleeping in your own bed? And, I think it's really defining what is success for you. Because if you're looking at other people, then you're always going to feel like you're not doing it because you're comparing yourself. And my journey is different than someone else's journey. So for me, I always have a clear idea of what does success mean for me. And then I dig in like a trench, and if I believe and know in my gut that what I need to do is what I need to do, you cannot get me off that path. So persistence, tenacity, resilience, humor, curiosity, and realizing that every opportunity, even if it's not the one you expect, is an action in the right direction. So put yourself in a position and a mindset that every single day you're going to do something that's going to keep you moving forward, closer. And know that stuff changes. And it's like, there's no timeline. There's no clock ticking, except the one in our head that says, I should be doing this by now. Who's to say? Like, some of the best things that have happened in my life have happened later, So I think it's just getting that, the voices in your head in agreement about what the mission is.
Finding out what your mission is. I think that's really, really well put. Stacey, thank you so much for doing this. Where can people find you on social media and all the socials?
Yeah, I'm on my website, staceyjaswat.com. I'm on social, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, some. And then YouTube, you can find our web show, VO Buzz Weekly. We have lots of videos there. That's coming back in 2022. So people can check out our YouTube channel there. There's a free app as well. And we're on all the podcast platforms too. So yeah, so we're out there. I'm out there and Chuck and Stacey J. Aswad. You can find me all over the socials.
Thank you so much. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you. And thanks everyone for watching. And I love what you do, Brian. Much success.